Hey everybody, this is Chris and Sam from Antimatter Games. Say hi, Sam.
Hi.
We're here today to react to the Last of Us 2 State of Play from Sony, which starts in 5 minutes. I'm super excited to see what they have in store for us. I've been looking forward to this game since they showed it off for the first time at E3 2018. Sam, do you remember that video at all?
I do. I remember the reaction that it had. I haven't played the first one, so I didn't have much connection to it, but I remember people just like losing their minds hearing about this game.
Yeah, so this was like when they showed it off. I was super blown away. It was one of the first games, maybe the first game I had seen at like an E3 press conference that really made me think like, oh, this is what next gen is going to be. Not so much because of the graphics, because it looks just as good as God of War or like what we saw from Ghost of Tsushima, but because of like the AI and the way Ellie moves and the way she was like killing people, had me really excited. It's I've never seen anyone move like that in video games. Like the animations were super fluid
Mm-hmm.
and really natural, and things like her getting into a fight, like a physical confrontation with an enemy, and the enemy throwing her through like a glass case real time. Like just like almost like a random event, like that may not happen, but it
Yeah.
can because it's there. That was really impressive. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing a lot more of this game today.
Yeah. Now, when that trailer came out, how far into development was it?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. So the Uncharted 4 came out in 2015 or 16, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It was like
Definitely a
five.
couple of years ago.
It was 5 or 6 years ago. So you can pretty much bet that they were working on The Last of Us 2 either during or right after Uncharted 4 stopped.
Yeah.
This game's been in development for like, 6, 7 years probably, or 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And Naughty Dog is one of the best developers out there, so I'm sure I'm excited. Whatever we're gonna see today, I'm really excited just to see more of the game. Like to see,
Yeah.
I really want to just see that we're behind Ellie, and a lot of the criticisms people had from the E3 demo was that it looked very scripted. Like, okay, this is supposed to be gameplay, but it looks like they picked a very specific part of the game and they wanted things to happen a very specific way, so it looked super smooth. It's like, I saw a lot of like,
Mm-hmm.
is that what the game's actually going to look like arguments. So I want to see some like solid gameplay of just 10 or 15 minutes of Ellie just doing her thing,
Yeah.
where it's clear that is going to be in the game.
Yeah. How much do we know how much gameplay we're gonna see today?
I want to assume it's going to be the same as Ghost of Tsushima, so like 20
Mm-hmm.
minutes. That seems to be their thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully whatever we get next week from them, their big game reveal is like an hour long, but they do like to keep these short. I think most of the state of plays that have happened since they started doing them, which is like a year and a half ago, have been pretty short, and they're all very focused things. So
Yeah. I would much rather that than a big long show where there's just dead time in between where you're not really getting any good content. It's like just show me what you want to show me and keep it tight.
I mean, that's the thing with Sony is that, so I had just gone back and watched the 2016 and 2017 E3 Sony press conferences, which were like just insanely good, but like they were a solid hour of like fireworks. They were
Yeah.
amazing displays of just games. Like, let's let the games talk for themselves. So I'm hoping, like, I know this is obviously just going to be The Last of Us and it'll be short, but I'm hoping for their PS5 reveal that it is going to be like a solid 45 minutes to an hour of like boom boom boom. Here's all our games. You know, Horizon
Yeah.
2, like whatever. I know we're kind of going off topic here, but that's all I'm thinking about.
Well, we'll know in a week, more or less.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was thinking earlier, you can see where they're kind of going with their marketing strategy here, like Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part Two, where that's their last big PS4 games of this generation, right?
Mhm.
So they're getting them out of the way, so that the next one that they do, they can focus all on, okay, here's what's coming next.
Yep.
So that's exciting. All right, it's 4 o'clock. Should be going live here soon.
Sweet.
What do you want to see here today? Pie in the sky.
You know what? I don't really have anything specific that I want to see. I just want to be impressed enough to buy the game. Like, not having played the first one, but playing Uncharted 4, loved Uncharted 4. I was impressed by so much of the gameplay, so much of the world, that just depending on what we see,
Yeah.
like I could be convinced very easily to pick this up. Oh, it's starting.
In 1 minute and 38 seconds.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, I can only imagine what this is going to look like, considering how good Uncharted 4 looked years ago.
Yeah.
Like, Uncharted 4 blew my mind 5 years ago. So they've had so much more time to work on this, and there's so much more. We didn't have the PS4 Pro back then.
Yep, that's true.
I didn't have a 4K TV back then, so I'm sure this is going to look gorgeous.
Now, is this something that you're going to want to stream when it comes out?
Yeah, I think I decided I'm going to stream the entirety.
That'll be nice. That'll be fun.
Yeah. I've been waiting for something that I really want to stream on my own, and I think this is going to be it for sure.
Yeah.
I want to share. I know it's going to be obviously a super emotional game. And,
yeah.
I think it'd be fun to share that with other people.
Ooh, 29 seconds.
Plus, like, everyone's going to be playing it, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's all anyone's been talking about.
Well, I mean, it didn't help that they had, like, big leak stuff, right? Which is really why it's been in the news.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that had something to do with them showing this today.
Same. I was wondering if this was already pre-planned, or if they're like, well, we've already had some stuff leaked, we might as well present it the way we want to present it.
Yeah, like a knee-jerk reaction to that leak.
Yep. Yeah.
Hopefully no spoilers.
I'm sure there won't be. They're pretty good with this stuff.
All right, here we go. All right, right into it. If we don't see any talking heads with fucking webcams and mics today,
I know you wish things were different.
just show the game, man.
Yep. I think they have enough. That's all people want to see.
So this is Last of Us
I wish
1
things were
stuff. Or,
Ellie!
this is-
But they ain't.
Please stop. I'm leaving tomorrow.
To do this smart, we'd be leaving Jackson vulnerable.
Do they just get to get away with this?
How'd you find us?
You can't stop this.
I want what you want. But not at any cost. I really hope you make it.
It's the guy from The Walking Dead. I hope this game is just like really dark and violent.
I have to finish it.
I want to be depressed. So far, that's exactly what it looks like.
We could have killed you. Maybe you should have.
I'm Neil Druckmann, Vice President of Naughty Dog and the Director of The Last of Us Part 2. We're just a few weeks away from launch on June 19th, when the game will finally be in your hands. The wait has been long, and we're extremely grateful for your patience, especially now in the midst of these unprecedented and challenging times. We hope you're all taking care of yourselves and that you, your friends, and your loved ones are doing well.
Red Dead 2 vibes.
Because of these extraordinary circumstances, we can't be together in this final stretch and share the experience like we usually would. So today we're trying something different. Something we've never done before. Over the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to give you an in-depth look into what awaits you in The Last of Us Part 2, including new details about the gameplay experience and story. And to cap it all off, we'll be showing a never-before-seen, lengthy gameplay sequence. You'll definitely want to stick around for that.
Yes, Neil.
I don't know what happened. I was supposed to take her to the Fireflies and walk away. They were actually going to make a cure. The only catch, it would kill her.
The Last of Us Part 2 picks up Ellie and Joel's story several years after the events of the first game. Ellie and Joel have settled in Jackson, Wyoming, amongst a thriving community of survivors. With the threats of the world kept outside the town's walls, Jackson has been able to find relative peace and even stability. Ellie is now 19, lives on her own, and has been able to forge lasting relationships within the community.
Scale of 1 to 10. How would you rate our kiss from last night?
Smoking some weed.
However, this peace is short-lived. Jackson and Ellie suffer a violent and traumatizing event. Ellie sets off back into the treacherous outside world in search of retribution and justice.
I'm assuming someone kills her.
Her journey will take her to
girlfriend.
new parts of the country
Yeah.
previously unexplored in The Last of Us. The story spans multiple seasons and climates, from the snow-capped mountains of Jackson to the lush Pacific Northwest. Each introduces a wide range of exterior and interior environments for you to navigate and explore.
The lighting looks
rendered in
amazing.
meticulous detail and unprecedented scale with the latest iteration of the Naughty Dog engine. Our goal was to make these environments not only beautiful, but feel as grounded and authentic to the cities they're based on as possible. Much of the story unfolds in what remains of Seattle, a massive former quarantine zone. Its locales are incredibly diverse, spanning a dense city center with a skyline of towering high-rises to the beautiful suburbs and stormy waterfronts that surround it. The city exhibits drastic shifts in architecture, elevation, and weather. And with Part 2, we've introduced new traversal mechanics that afford greater exploration and ways to navigate threats. Ellie is not only able to climb and jump over gaps, but she can use ropes to scale vertical terrain or swing over obstacles, allowing you to discover new areas, resources, and side narratives. These more open environments also create new strategic considerations in combat, whether it's to get the jump on enemies or bypass them entirely. The Last of Us Part 2 features some of the largest environments we've ever created. Horseback riding will allow Ellie to quickly cover some of these expansive terrains. Some streets are so flooded that a boat is required to navigate them. However, the world of The Last of Us is as lush and inviting as it is deadly. As Ellie uncovers the path to finding those who have wronged her, she must face the many threats of this unknown city. In the wake of the pandemic and the fall of the quarantine zone, Seattle has become a war zone, where two warring factions find themselves in an ongoing conflict for territory and resources. One of these groups is the Washington Liberation Front, otherwise known as the WLF. The WLF are a militia group that began as resistance to the military occupation of Seattle and eventually wrestled control of the city from them. They are highly trained, organized, and well-equipped with weapons they stole from the army. They occupy much of the city, imprisoning or killing trespassers on sight.
Hey, we got another trespasser. A girl. Did you see her?
Yeah, fuck them up.
On the other side of this bloody conflict is a group of religious zealots called the Seraphites,
Ugh.
or Scars, defined by the self-inflicted deep cuts that they bear across their faces. Like the WLF, they're deeply tribalistic and territorial. They're known for being stealthy, using overgrowth as cover. And they use
Always
more
the
silent
religious
weapons
groups you
like
want to
bows
stay
and
away from.
arrows.
Yeah.
Clip her wings.
But beyond this conflict among survivors, the threat that originally brought the world to its knees is very much present. Every human is in danger of falling victim to the infected. They are the recently infected
pop his
runners
pimples.
who are more numerous and aggressive in this game.
It's so gross.
The blind but extremely deadly clickers, and the stalkers who sneak and hide until they're ready to attack, surprising their victims with extreme agility and brutal violence. The Last of Us Part 2 introduces new stages of infected, such as the Shamblers. Large, heavily armored enemies that are covered in pustule. Upon getting close to you, they expel a corrosive spore cloud that burns its victims. But our most terrifying and lethal new forms of infected will have to wait.
Now, are
until you
these
play
like
the game for
similar
yourselves.
zombie things from the first one? Or just...
Yeah. Clickers are from the first one.
Overcoming these threats will require careful consideration of how you approach every combat encounter and how you leverage Ellie's unique skills, equipment, and the environment to your advantage.
Let's get in there.
The WLF patrol the streets of Seattle with guard dogs, which are capable of detecting and following you, even while in cover.
You think this guy's connected to the
They can pick up your scent and alert their handlers to your presence. Listen mode will reveal your scent trail, so keep moving and cause distractions to avoid detection.
They could be hiding anywhere.
25 years after the pandemic began, the world is completely overgrown. Use tall grass to hide from enemies and go prone to stay out of sight. However, this form of analog stealth means you're never fully hidden. If enemies get close enough, they can discover you, even in grass. When Ellie is overwhelmed, running away is a viable option. You can also break glass or crawl through tight spaces to find new paths
Bo looks
or areas
sick.
to evade or take on your enemies. In any given combat situation, you can flee an encounter and re-establish stealth to regain the advantage. If you absolutely have to fight your way out, there are a variety of tools at your disposal. Ellie's more agile than most of her enemies. She can sprint and quickly dodge incoming attacks. Learning how opponents attack with different weapons and mastering the timing of your dodges will prevent you from
Yeah, this
taking
is
damage
great.
and
This looks really
create opportunities
intuitive.
to counterattack. You can use throwable items or well-placed shots to stun enemies before dealing
nice.
a killing blow.
To kill.
Or using them as a shield to protect yourself or buy some time to figure out your next move. Ellie isn't always alone on her journey. Allies will take part in helping you navigate the environments, spot enemies, and meaningfully help you in combat encounters.
Nice. I love how visceral all of this is.
Yeah.
You really feel the weight of everything she's using.
Between the human survivors and the roaming infected, there will be times where multiple threats are present, creating new strategic considerations and opportunities. You can choose
And then just
whether to
imagine
attack
that on
these
the
opponents
PS5 with the
separately or
haptic
directly,
feedback.
or find ways to pit them against each other.
Oh, you can bet this will be on PS5.
Oh yeah.
Not like it won't be a first
Flee as
party
they fight,
exclusive,
or
but
wait until their numbers have thinned out
Uh,
and engage with whomever's
I'm
left.
sure you'll get like a remastered.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
Our goal is to create unparalleled tension, coupled with deep systems that give you greater control and influence over your journey. As you play, you'll be able to invest in a broad collection of crafting items, weapon, and player upgrades through training manuals scattered throughout the environment and scavenging for ingredients. These skills and upgrade manuals cater to a variety of playstyles, and the choices you make will create your own distinct experience.
Yeah,
We
I
also
wanted to
wanted
see
to
more of
extend
this.
that agency and personalization to your weapons
looks really
through our new workbench system. Scavenge for parts to modify and improve your weapon's performance and attributes, all of which are visualized and become part of your character.
Great animations with the gun. Good sound effects too.
Survival will also require using the parts and ingredients that you'll find in the environment, which can be crafted into a wide range of defensive and offensive items, like proximity mines, explosive arrows, pistol suppressors, and more.
Nice.
All of these gameplay systems are meant to immerse you in the world and make you feel in lockstep with Ellie's emotional journey. As we've said before, this is Naughty Dog's largest, most ambitious game. It may seem like we covered a lot, but we've only scratched the surface of what it's like to play The Last of Us Part 2. We can't wait for you to experience it all for yourself on June 19th. Until then, here's an extended sequence of never-before-seen gameplay. Enjoy.
Okay.
Did you find her yet?
Escape while no one was looking. We're searching the area, just in case she's still around.
Isaac's not happy about it.
No shit.
Definitely the best like water movement I've ever seen in a game, really.
Yeah, water's one of those things where it really, like, it either looks like garbage or it looks great.
Like the water looks like Uncharted, for an example. The water looked amazing, but it looked like Nate was able to swim through it effortlessly, right? It looks like Ellie here is having difficulty treading water.
Yeah.
Or at least it looks as difficult as it should for anyone to slowly tread water.
Don't make a fucking sound. Hands up.
Easy.
Do you know a girl named Nora?
Sure, yeah.
Where is she?
In the hospital.
Where in the hospital?
Yeah, they're clearing out the upper floors. She's somewhere in there.
Oh, you bitch.
That was dumb.
Deserved it. I like that touch wiping the blood on her pants before she put it back.
Yeah. Well, this game is definitely impressing me. I'm intrigued.
Word is we're almost wrapped up.
Good. I got my girl waiting for him for Bob.
You shitting me? They put you with Joe again?
Hey, we get the job done.
I bet you do. Oh, this is not fair.
I'm telling you, man. Data soldier. It makes these shifts so much easier.
Sure. I'll keep that in mind.
Sounds like scars are getting closer.
Hope that's our guys executing those freaks.
Hey, did you hear why we're all getting called up to the fob?
I heard that Isaac wants us to retake
Nice.
all of downtown.
I heard we might take the fight to them.
No way. Not after what went down last time. Even Isaac isn't that crazy.
That's what I heard.
I would assume this game is pretty scarce on resources.
Probably, yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah, you generally don't have a lot of post-apocalyptic worlds with ammo everywhere.
No, it looks like that way. She only has 10 bullets for her gun. And she's making suppressors out of water bottles, so...
Fair.
It's not like it's not the first time I've seen that, but it's an easy way to silence your muzzle flash.
Fan out. Check the whole coast up. Someone's out there.
Some Molotovs. Oh, burn that dog so good.
No.
Just like that.
I really like the way the bow looks and feels, the way it interacts with enemies when she shoots them.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. It looks realistic. Whereas, like, when we saw the bow being used in Ghost of Tsushima, and the guys would fly back that they got hit with a shotgun, it looked really stupid and arcadey.
Yep.
Nice.
I'll go check it out. I got you covered. Holy shit! Shit! Look out! Move! Over here! Drop her now, crook! Asshole!
Big stick with nails in it.
I found her!
Oh, this is great, man. I'm so excited to play this. If it like looks so gritty, everything feels so dialed in.
Yeah.
Even the sound the bolt of her rifle makes.
You can tell they really went through this with like a fine eye.
Yeah, 100%. They're getting a lot of detail. Even like her kit that she's wearing, like everything's on her backpack that you're carrying. The bow, the rifle, that stick. Her pistol on her hip, the knife in her back pocket. You can see everything.
That you, Nora?
Oh yeah, gotta climb through a vent.
Was happy here.
I'm not stupid. You're gonna tell us where she went.
When Isaac talks to us about this...
I'm getting tired of this.
Nora. Nora! I'm not going down for her, man.
Tape.
Don't scream.
I wonder at what point in the game this is.
Put that shit down.
Knowing how these usually go, they usually show like something from the middle of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
You remember me? Yeah. You remember me.
Assuming she has something to do with killing her girlfriend.
Sweet.
Is that it? I guess so. So before we go offline, what did you like about that? What really caught your eye?
Ooh, good question. It does look so smooth. And if that's what the actual gameplay is going to be like, I'm excited because I haven't seen a game like that in ever.
Yeah,
maybe.
Nope.
None that really come to mind, especially in terms of like fight mechanics, like going from just walking into a fight. There was no kind of like weird jitter or like lining up enemies to be able to execute things. Like everything just seemed so flawless. And I'm curious to see how much of that is like player choice or how much is, hit X. And if you're in this position, you'll stab them here, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see. I will be picking it up.
Well, you could see when a couple of times when she was scuffling like hand to hand with a few of them, that she was like someone was clearly hitting like a dodge button and she was moving, but it looked so like fluid.
Yeah.
Whenever the person was obviously inputting that control, that it looked like it was just happening really naturally, and you were almost in like a cutscene or a quick time event, but it's not. So that's what I'm really hoping for.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like what game that reminded me of. What was it? When For Honor first came out, it was
a little bit.
Yeah, the fights were kind of like that, where like you'd execute these really cool moves, and it was just based off of where you were standing in relation to the other person, whether they were blocking, what their stance was, and it seemed kind of like that, but better and like less mechanic.
Yeah, you're really close in there, like you're like waist high, right up close to them. So they can't pull any punches. It's got to be really, really good, solid animations, and it looks like that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I was really impressed by all the attention to detail. Like all of the weapons that she had were visible at all times. The sound was amazing. Like everything, like the glass breaking, the bolt on her rifle, the gunshots, the pull of the bow, and the release. Like everything sounded super realistic and just like bang on.
Yeah.
Some games really mess that up, and it really takes you out of the immersion. Yeah, that's one thing that really stood out to me here, and it just looks like shitty and violent and like gory. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it looks very much. It looks like watching The Walking Dead, except that you get to actually control one of the characters in it. But it's that. It's that post-apocalyptic, like you see other humans, but it's a bad idea to go talk to them because it's just everything is a hazard. Everything is a danger.
Yeah.
Everything's trying to kill you.
I'm excited at like how violent it looks. I'm excited for a rated R Naughty Dog game, essentially.
Yeah.
She's like fucking chopping people in the chest with her axe and like stabbing them in the liver with her pick that she has. Like, it's brutal. And I'm excited for Vengeful Ellie.
Ugh.
Yep.
Now I kind of want to go play the first one.
See, that's for me. The first one never really grabbed me. I played maybe half of it, and it just didn't have the same vibes as we're seeing from these trailers.
Okay, maybe I'll watch all the cutscenes.
There you go. It is a very good story. I will say that.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I think that's it for our coverage of The Last of Us Part 2 for today. Thanks for joining me, Sam.
Thank you.
And thanks everyone for watching. You can check out our podcast on our YouTube channel, Antimatter Games, and all the other reactions that we've done. And we're also on Twitch at Hellhammer1349, soon to also be Antimatter Games at the end of this week, I believe. We can finally change our name.
Yeah, just a couple more days.
Yep. And look forward to seeing us next week also with some rumored Sony big reveals, PS5 stuff. Bye, everybody.
Bye.